are we on? October 5th,
Yes,
2018.
that is it. That is the date of today.
The year of
Our Lord.
not a rat, a turtle, a ninja turtle.
It is
My favourite's Michelangelo. Sorry.
into the Tony Ferguson
Sorry, man, I
realm
just
already.
got possessed. I don't know what came over me.
Next question.
Yeah, indeed. Man, it's been a good week. This has, I think, been my favourite week of MMA this year.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see much of it, and what I did see was only in recaps.
Indeed. And
So-
even then, there's some good stuff, yes?
Yeah, very good. I'm a little bit bummed out that I didn't get to see it all, but
Man, let's start with the Bellators. That's where things began when the weekend passed. I think this show is going to be about 50-50. About half Bellator Rizin and then half McGregor, Khabib, and other stuff.
and then whatever else is happening there.
Yeah, but mostly that, let's be real. I love Tony Ferguson, but he's not going to get as much time as Conor Vs.
Yeah, this is what happens when you throw all this stuff together.
Mm-hmm. Bellator, we'll start with Bellator. Bellator was first.
Alright, we'll go.
Chronologically, because that's my memory works. Man, I only watched the main card. I didn't watch the 68 undercard fights.
Yeah, I think that was probably a smart move.
Man, everything on the main card was pretty enjoyable. Gaston Bolanos takes out Isidro Gutierrez in a pretty exciting fight. Like Gutierrez was out there going for it. It wasn't like he was shooting for takedowns, like trying to stay away from the striking. He was throwing, he was holding his own.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gaston's too slick though. Took him out with a nice shot.
The Gaston game continues.
Man, I'm a fan of the guy. I like him. He's an elite Muay Thai fighter. He's young enough to understand that he's not going to make a ton of money being an elite Muay Thai fighter. He's trying to make the transition.
Yeah.
He's talented. I want to see how far he can take it. Kerry Melendez wins a close-ish fight against Dakota Zimmerman. It was fine. It was, I didn't hate it. But it wasn't like an amazing fight or anything. Don't let anyone tell you that it was some barn burner.
Yeah, sure.
It was Dakota Zimmerman's pro debut, but I think Kerry Melendez has only had about 4 pro fights, so I think it was probably a little bit tougher on her than they expected it to be, but otherwise it was fine. Man, then we get into the goodness. Pico versus Leandro Higo in 3 minute 19 seconds slobber knocker.
I've only seen the last 15 seconds.
Right, which is not a fun time for Leandro Higo.
No, not at all.
7 or 8 seconds more than it probably needs to be. But man, he lands some good shots in that fight, but they're just going for it too. But Pico, he has like a McGregor-like pressure, but it's obviously not as like the polished strike. Like he's good, and he's got good punches and stuff and good combinations, but it's just this, I'm just going to smash you kind of mentality that he seems to have.
Yeah.
And like he's willing to take shots, doesn't seem to care. Wasn't rushing though this time, which is I think what cost him last time. This time he was calm. When he got tagged, he sort of backed out a bit and reset and found his range again and just leveled him with that big right hand. Well, it was 2-shot combo, wasn't it? It's like a short left and then a right over the top.
Oh man, then it's like the big sequence.
Oh, then yeah, he just pounded the living piss out of him
And
at
you're
the
just
end.
like, whoa. Man, do not want to be standing there with that guy.
So that's 5 fights in, and Aaron Pico has beaten a man who has fought for the world title.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't taken any easy fights.
Man, I think he's only like 1 fight away from fighting a pitbull.
And that could be fun.
It's just so crazy that, like, that's where we are. We're at fight number 6, and Aaron Pico is in title contention in Bellator, which is not a weak division. Their featherweight division, it's obviously not as good as the UFC's, but it's not a weak division. They've got good fighters in there.
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez out there fucking tapping people out and shit. Manny Sanchez out there tapping people. I know names. It's fine. So yeah, that was awesome. Then we had, man, the spectator would not have enjoyed Douglas Lima versus Andrei Koreshkov. The casual spectator probably wouldn't have loved this.
Even though it was a 5th round finish.
Man, well, look, from the perspective of Douglas Lima looked at this fight and was like, this guy's going to try and take me down. I need to not let him take me down. I'm going to chop him down with leg kicks and body kicks for 3 to 4 rounds, basically. And just wear him out and then take him out.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable in that sense. Like, to watch his strategy play out. Where you were like, he's not... Like, there's no in between the second and third where they're like, hey, it's not working, man, you gotta fucking do something different, like, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm like, no, man, you're doing the right thing. Keeping him off you with the takedowns, just keep chopping him down, and you just see it working. And you're like, yeah, this... Like, it was one of those fights where I feel like if it had ended as a decision, like if Koreshkov had gotten, like, let's say the fights were 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, you would have been sitting there after being like, ooh, Douglas Lima was like 5 minutes away from ending this thing. Like, he was taking him down. He wasn't just trying to win a decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I'm going to take my man apart piece by piece and then I'm going to put him away. So that was impressive in that sense. I think he's probably, there's an argument that he's the favourite for the whole thing, based on what happens in the main event.
Yeah, true.
He moves on to face the winner of Daly versus MVP, which I just feel like unless MVP is hiding a ground game that is like remarkable, there's no way MVP beats Lima, and I think Daly's already tried and it didn't go great for him, so he's in a good position.
Good win, solid win.
Then we move on to, the attraction fight, the fun fight, the silly fight.
The sideshow,
I wouldn't go so far as to call it a sideshow, because it's not. These aren't ridiculous people, and look, they gave you a show.
Well, that's
I know
true.
You didn't see it, man, but like they rocked each other multiple times. Like they were swinging for each other. Yeah, they were slower. Yeah, they were older, and they had rampages out there weighing 250 fucking pounds, but they're 40. What the fuck do you want? Like.
Yeah.
They've been doing this a long time, and again,
they get paid to show up, and they showed up.
It was as good, and that was it. They went for it too. They gave you your money's worth. You can't ask for more than that. So I was very impressed. Rampage Jackson winning by second round TKO. You could just tell he was taking the shots a little better when Vanderlei would land on him, and his shots were hurting Vanderlei. He's just got a bit more power in him.
Yeah. Last thing to go.
That's what they say. But they're both apparently already saying they're down for number 5, so why the hell not? Again, if they want to keep doing it, that's who they should be fighting.
Just each other.
Yeah. There's no... it's Bellator. Let's say they're at heavyweight, right? Like, do you really want to see Rampage Jackson fight, like, Matt Mitrione?
Not really.
Right? Like, I mean, he can maybe land on him, maybe, but doubt it. Rampage vs. Fedor, I'd take, because fuck it. But that's the world we live in. Fedor's out here just fighting anybody. Anyway, good for Rampage. Happy for him. Ties it up at 2-2. Main event.
This I've seen.
One of the better main events on paper, I thought, this year.
Yeah.
Gegard Mousasi versus Rory McDonald.
Just
for the middleweight championship of the world.
An interesting matchup too, where you're like, oh yeah, what's going to happen here?
Right, like I was so sure it was like, well, it'll be like cagey, or it'll, like this will be a thing that plays out throughout the fight, and you'll see who's kind of straight. Nope, lots of jabs right in your stupid face. Jab,
cross, jab.
Just a glorious performance from Gegard Mousasi.
Oh, and those feints, just those little shoulder feints, and he's just getting him to bite.
Out there looking like maybe the best middleweight in the game, Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah, and just turned Rory into like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, completely outstruck him, and then
disrupted his rhythm and then mounted him.
Second round, Rory goes for the Imanari roll.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a desperate, like he's like, I've had enough of this. And then Gegard, that's the point where the size comes in, where Gegard's like, oh, buddy, you shouldn't have done this. Like, you're never getting up. And just slowly beats him up in the guard, eventually stands up, passes to half, and then how easy does he get mount once he gets to half guard?
Yeah, true.
Just slices through him like he's not even there. And then just mauls him. Very impressive by the dream catcher.
Yeah, so I don't know
What does that bring his record to?
What do you do?
42
What do you do with
wins
him
or
now?
something? Musashi?
Yeah.
Well, he's calling his own shot. He's already called out Rafael Lovato Jr. For December.
I mean, sure, that'll do.
And he said, because, well, remember in December, Machida's fighting Carvalho as well in Hawaii. And Musashi said if Machida wins, he'll fight Machida. So Machida beat him in the UFC. And, like, Musashi thinks he cheated. So there's, like, a whole story there.
Oh, yeah. A reason to do it.
45-6. Getting out of Musashi. Winning streak moves to 8 in a row. Some losses early in the career, but the notable victories just keep piling up.
Oh, yeah.
Notable victories: Ronaldo Souza, Dan Henderson, Talis Latus, Vitor Belfort, Chris Weidman, Rory McDonald, Mark Hunt. Fought Mark Hunt, beat him back in the day.
Yeah, it's fairly impressive.
It's very impressive when you consider the size of Mark Hunt.
It's like, how many guys in the UFC do you want to see him fight?
All of them. All the ones he hasn't fought.
I mean, there's some good fights there, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Him versus Rockhold's good. Him versus KG is great. Obviously, him versus Witt. That might be... Is that... I'm trying to think. Is that the best fight that you can't make?
It could be. On paper.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other Bellator champions. Like if you could make a Bellator versus UFC fight, top of my head, I'm immediately like, that's what I'd make. I'd make Musashi versus Whittaker. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I can't. They don't even have a heavyweight champion yet. Bader's the fucking light heavyweight champion. I've seen all of those. I mean, Rory, I've seen a lot of his. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Tyron again. Well, I think Tyron would beat him. I just think Rory's taking so much damage. Tyron just seems to be getting better and better.
And a war with Lawler.
Took a piece of him, and then he fought Wonderboy so soon after it, and got, like, Wonderboy smashed him up over 5 rounds too. That was no fun. Even the Lima fight, right? That was a hard fight. It was not an easy day for Rory McDonald. And now this one, he's had some hard outs.
Take a break.
We had a break in there. Remember, he took like a year off to fix his nose.
Take another break.
We've got so much time, though.
I mean, don't fight middleweights.
That definitely. But again, like, I don't know, like, all these people now who are like, oh, this, should they have done this? Like, this was this. And it's like, yeah, it was a mismatch after the fact. But, like, we were all fucking for this at the start. We were like, ooh, Rory could do something here. And it was just like, no. No. Yeah, man, it's just, Diego Musashi is very good.
In any league, in any division.
Indeed. Man's fought at 205, heavyweight, 185. He's definitely, that's his division, though. Yeah, as I say, I would pay cash money to see him fight the UFC champion. And I do not know who would win. And I'm a big fan of the UFC middleweight champion, so I feel like that's saying a lot. But yeah, man, congratulations to the Moose.
Proving his worth. Dominant display.
They're being a bit. Even you remember when he went to Bellator, his first fight was against Shlemenko, and Shlemenko fucking hits him with this like fatal fucking overhand right, like 10 seconds into the fight, and lands dead on Musashi's eye and closes his eye. So I think within like 40 seconds of that fight, Musashi's right eye was gone. He just couldn't see anymore out of it. And he won like a controversial decision, like a razor-thin split decision. And like people were kind of shitting on him. And the guy, you could see him in the after interview where he was looking at him like, this happened like 10 seconds in. You can't plan for this shit. Look, man, I didn't have any depth perception for the entire fight. And I still found a way to win it. And you're like, yeah, like, that's who Musashi is. He's not, this is not an overrated, like that man had a bad night, had a very unlucky thing happen, which threw out his entire game plan basically. He started having to go for takedowns. That was what he ended up doing. He was like, I can't strike with him. I just don't know where he is. So I've got to get him on the ground. I've just got to touch him. And once I touch him, I've just got to fucking dive in for a takedown. And like, yeah, that was like, I'm pretty sure they asked him, like, how were you measuring the distance? And he was like, just when we would feel contact. I was like, oh yeah, there he is. Because otherwise it's just like, I don't know where he is, man. I can't see. I can't know if I can stress this enough to you people. I have no perception. So, damn. So yeah, man, he's a beast.
Yeah. Scary beast.
Indeed.
Lightning fast.
There's that too. And yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the best
they're
jab
like-
in the game.
Those dead sharp eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nobody looks more.
Upset
I
or
don't know. It's just like
mildly annoyed.
he has accepted the fate of this life more than anyone. You know what I mean? Like Gegard Mousasi's in that cage with just he doesn't have any like feelings about this, but he is going to do violence to you. Like this is going to happen. But yeah, you can see he genuinely doesn't have any emotion about it.
Yeah, there's no intent.
Yeah, people talk about like Khabib, right? Like how he just shuts it all out and he's just a machine in the cage, right?
Yeah.
But he's not. Like, he's in there talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, like whereas Gegard is a machine. He's just, I am just fucking you up. It is all just a process to me crushing you.
So I don't want to hurt you, but when I do hurt you, you're not going to be able to tell that because I'm going to do it properly.
Well, it's not even that I don't want to hurt you, right? It's like I don't
get anything out of it.
Yeah, I don't have any feelings about hurting you. I am going to hurt you though. Like that's gonna happen, and it's just If you're like, do I want? I don't know. This is what I do. Does a fish want to swim? Like, They don't have a choice, right?
Swim or die.
Yeah. That's Mousasi. Very impressive. Very impressive. Can't wait to see him fight next. I'm interested in the Lovato fight because Lovato is dominant against everyone he's fought. I expect Mousasi will kill him. I think this is a monumental leap forward in competition for Rafael Lovato, and he's not going to be... If Rory can't handle that jab, Rafael Lovato ain't going to have any clue what to do with it. If he can get it down to the floor, he's got a chance. Because he's Jacare level on the floor.
Could be fun.
Man, it probably will be.
Could just be a piecing.
Mousasi doesn't have boring fights. That's the other thing too. He's fun, right? He's always out there smashing someone.
Well, I can't think of too many people who fight like him, just with the way he fights.
Like I said, his boxing game and his jab in particular I think his jab is the sharpest in MMA.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. So quick. It just he changes the timing on it so well.
It flows. It's fluid. It's got power in it. I don't know the specifics of boxing. You know, I try to work out shit, but mostly I'm just like, oh, he punched him good. But I know I look at that jab and I look at other MMA guys and I'm just like, well, he's better at jabbing than them. I know that much. I can see that much just plainly in front of my eyes.
His looks like it's doing something. That other guy does not like this at all.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know how it did in the States with the whole DAZN thing, but man, I gave it a solid 9 out of 10 for a main card.
Yeah, the main card, 9 out of 10.
I really liked it. Like I said, I mean, people probably would go lower because they might rank the Lima-Koreshkov fight lower. And again, look, I don't know if I'd rewatch it. I might, like if Lima gets to the finals.
Sure.
Like I think I could go back and watch this Koreshkov fight just to see again, like his game plan play out, how he sticks to it. What does he have moments where he tries to go off script and just like see an opening sort of thing. But beyond that, the top four, they're great. They're just great. Like I said, it was a bummer to watch Rory McDonald with the fucking piss beaten out of him, which I guess we haven't touched on. Like, I like Rory McDonald, man. He got trucked. This was like Darren Till levels of unsuccessful.
Yeah, he took damage.
You know what I mean? But it was also like, he landed like a good overhand right. I suppose he had a slightly more success than Darren Till did.
Yeah, I think he landed a body shot in there too.
Yeah. In the first round. Yeah, I remember. Nice little right hand to the body, I think. But that was about it.
Yeah.
Nothing he did phased Mousasi. He looked on the back foot from the jump.
Just didn't know how to engage with him.
The Imanari roll was panicky and everything from the ground. It was just...
I think Rory was coming off fighting in a jiu-jitsu tournament too, so...
Well, he likes that Imanari roll. He tried it on Wonderboy a couple of times as well, remember?
Maybe he just, I don't know, felt more confident there. Well, clearly he did.
he was just getting tooled on the feet. He needed to do something different. Like I said, it felt like kind of desperate. But as I say, it was all, I feel like, due to Musasi's performance, which was a world-class performance. So then, I had a sandwich on my Sunday, quitting my shit job, which was nice.
And congratulations.
Man, I had a great Sunday, I'm not going to lie. Like, Saturday's my last day at the job. Come home, good night's sleep, wake up to this. So I've gotten through Bellator, a little break, come back and it's just like, Rizin starts in 3 hours. And you're like, okay, sweet, I've got a few hours before Rizin starts. Sitting down, waiting, doing whatever. God, there's a hurricane, cyclone, typhoon coming to Japan, so Rizin's going to be quick as shit today.
Yeah, we're going to pump this out like a Pez factory.
Oh, it's great. So they just bang out everything. No post-fight interviews for anybody. Nothing in between. No filler. Just fight after fight after fight. They grab 4 fights and they say, listen guys, you guys are going to have to go on after the main event. Because basically we have to shorten the card to make sure people can get home and not be caught in a tropical storm. So like Cruikshank went on. I think he was one of the last fights to go on. Cruikshank against Diego Brandao and stuff like that. But man, from this card, from top to bottom, what I saw of it was joyous. Maybe the word I would use to describe it. Not a word I often use to describe martial arts competition, but
I mean, this was the one I wanted to watch.
It was fucking great. It was everything I want in a Rizin show. I mean, if I'm being like hypercritical, I could have used maybe one more high-level match. There was only one really high-level fight on this card. Everything else was just kind of silly and fun. But the silly and fun, Jesus Christ, did it fucking deliver.
Oh, yeah. And like when you add the spectacle of the outrageous entrances.
Let's start with the entrances, which I harp on this, I know, but it's too fucking bad. Every time this Rizin card comes around, you're getting this. So you and I watched Manel Cape's entrance a moment ago.
Indeed.
Manel Cape opened the show.
Curtain jerker.
He is from, what is that flag? What do you reckon?
Angola. There you go.
So, Manel Cape of Angola takes on Yusaku Nakamura of Japan, obviously, in the opening fight. He gets the full lights out, like the guy in the video department made a thing for him on that giant screen.
All the projectors are going off.
Yeah, they've got the highlights of him knocking people out and his name lit up on the screen in darkness. It's
synchronized lights.
Yep. Somebody put work and effort into Manel Cape's walkout to make him feel and seem special. And it worked, right? Like, just you and me watching that. I don't know about that, but part of my brain watching him walk out is like, yeah, this guy matters. Like, why would they be treating him so special if he didn't matter?
He must be a real guy.
He's a fun fighter. I've watched a few Manel Cape fights in the day, man. He's fun. Gets a very late submission over Nakamura, by the by, deep into the 3rd round.
Yeah, I liked it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, look, there's a few sort of undercard fights of just guys whose name you don't know, but there was a soccer kicks KO in there. There was...
It was brutal.
Who had the double loss? What was the team that had like 2 fighters and didn't they both lose?
Was it Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah. Was it them? Did they have 2 fighters and they both lost?
Sure.
I can't remember anymore. I think the Kai Asakara fight was against the Tiger Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
And then, oh look at that! That was the other thing that was cool. The brothers fought on the card. Mikuru fought as well.
Asakara, yeah.
Yeah. There was a cool picture of them like backstage together after they both won. Just like that's always a nice thing. UFC gets their chance at that this weekend. I guess we'll talk about that later.
And he won over Dortbeck too. He was coming over from ACB, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay. So yeah, then you have. Okay, we'll go in order of descent. We'll descend. So Tenshin Nasukawa defeats Kyoji Horiguchi via unanimous decision. I got to show it to you. I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
Savo, your thoughts?
So in terms of like being a high level kickboxing fight, it still kind of was. It was lacking some of the pace that you'd normally expect.
Not as many exchanges.
Yeah. In terms of the guys trying to feel each other out, and I think maybe
Horiguchi's style doesn't lend to
especially
like exchanges
when he's trying to take you down as well.
Well, that was only, especially at the end when he was just like, I am in trouble.
Outside leg trip. Like, what? But man, I really enjoyed just watching Tenshin, like sort of be sitting there feeling him out and just being like, all right, pick a time and then just put it on him, just turn it up, just go to level 11 and just see what happens.
Well, yeah, that's at the end of the second round. It's like someone's put him in fast forward, right?
Yeah.
Where he just starts throwing, like when you're like, whoa, all right, that's the speed you can go at.
5-hit combination in like 2 seconds.
Sprints across the cage with a running push kick. Like, he's something to see. I loved it, man. Like, what you would have missed from it just watching it back is, like, live, it felt tense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you would genuinely, like, this is fucking cool. Like, Horiguchi's doing good, and you could see, like, Tenshin is trying to get him just fucking throw 3. Just don't throw 1 or 2, just throw 3. If you throw 3, I'll kill you, because that means you're still going to be there. But it was all about him just trying to get that space, and then eventually, by the end, he was just marching through. He just decided, like, I don't care what Horiguchi's going to do anymore. I'm just going to storm forward and attack him. It was great. Like I said, it had all the... I agree with you, like, just as a straight kickboxing fight, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Even though it was a little low volume.
Yeah.
That's just the style. Karate guy in there, you're going to get that. But it was, like I said, as a spectacle, it was fucking amazing. Both their walkouts were great.
Man, I think it was interesting that they didn't do the 4th round. Also, that they didn't dock Tenshin a point.
Didn't dock Tenshin a point for the 2 low blows in round 2.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have been okay with a point deduction.
That would have forced the 4th round.
It would have, and he probably would have stopped Horiguchi.
Yeah, I think he would have stopped him in the 4th. He looked like he was really starting to find his range.
But at the same time, I'm also... I think, like, considering what both guys risked, taking the fight, the way they both looked, I'm okay with it. Like, they weren't intentional low blows. It's not like Horiguchi was complaining.
He was on his knees.
At the time, he was certainly like, I don't enjoy this. This is bad. But
the second time, he held out 2 fingers to the ref.
Did he? We can't hold out fingers. Yeah, glove on. But
he's like, he's like, come on, man.
But I still like. I feel like it ended well in that sense. Like, we all know, all right, Tenshin's the better striker.
Yeah, I mean,
Horiguchi acquitted himself very well.
And there's no reason to make all the Horiguchi fans watch him get knocked out.
Yeah, and I found it interesting. I don't know, I wouldn't call it arrogant. Like, the delivery and everything didn't seem arrogant or anything like that, but it was in the post-fight, they asked Horiguchi, like, would you, like, if Tenshin came over to MMA, would you want to face him? And Horiguchi was like, honestly, if we fought again, I think it would make more sense to have a kickboxing fight again.
Yeah.
He's just like, if we fought MMA, basically, he's like, I would win easily.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't think there was any ego to it. It was just like, man, come on.
Man, I believe him.
I just take him down and kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
what's he going to do?
I'm good enough on the feet.
You've seen take his hips anywhere.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm good enough on the feet to nullify him for long enough that I can get him down, which I also showed.
Yeah, get him down easy too.
Yeah, right. But again, you're expecting it versus not expecting it, I suppose. But yeah, awesome fight. I loved it. I thought it lived up to the hype. Like the spectacle of it was great. It looked amazing when they both walked out. They both delivered.
So, Nick, can we contrast that for a moment with the Bob Sapp fight?
We can get to. Do you want to go straight to the Bob Sapp?
Man, I want to just because it's such a good contrast.
Okay, so Bob Sapp fights Sunarashi in somewhere down the middle of the card.
So yeah, this is just so if Bob Sapp is on a 10 fight losing streak,
14 fight losing streak, I believe.
Yeah, he's a big giant black man.
His last victory was over a sumo who I'm assuming Bob Sapp looked at and was like, I can beat this cunt. And sure enough...
Man, they found him an Egyptian sumo.
Yep. Coming out... Okay, so let's first off... Alright, let's begin with the walkouts. Bob Sapp gets announced from being from the deep recesses of space, or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
As he walks out in like a giant white robe to the Ric Flair theme. Some guy holding a piece of paper behind him.
With a F, backwards F on it. It's supposed to be something, I don't know.
Could have been like a Japanese character maybe, I'm not sure.
Space alien writing, assumably.
So he does his thing, gets down to the ring, looking a little tired already, if we're being honest.
Yeah, because he had to like maintain his own weight as the platform lifted him up and struggled.
Yeah. Then out comes Asunarashi dressed as fucking Tutankhamun or some shit.
Yeah, some Egyptian something.
He's a pharaoh. He's definitely dressed as a pharaoh. He's got the headdress thing. That's definitely some pharaoh shit he's rocking.
So we had a battle of the gods of who knows
gods
what.
Space versus the Egyptian kings. First round, which you did not see.
I'm glad I didn't see it.
The first round is not bad. That's the funny thing. The first round, basically, like their striking is about the same.
Yeah.
Like it's that technique. It's like, Jesus Christ, how did Bob Sapp ever... Bob Sapp beat Ernesto Hoost.
Huh?
Do you know what Ernesto Hoost's nickname used to be? It was Mr. Perfect. Bob Sapp beat him in kickboxing because he was just so big. But I'm like, I watch him now, and he doesn't know how to punch. He forgot. How did you forget? So I'm like, I need to start training again. I'm like, shit, I'm going to lose. Like, I'm just going to stop turning my hip over on punches and shit, you know? But, so anyway, they get out there. Asunarashi, I hope I'm saying that right. Because
it doesn't matter.
He gave me a smile, man. I don't want to fuck with him. He goes for a takedown, and he gets it. Gets the takedown. But Sapp fucking hips up as they hit the ground and rolls him over. So he like momentum's him. I'm like, that's pro wrestling shit that Bob Sapp knows. Bob Sapp knows how to fall right in pro wrestling. And he's like, yeah, then I float over and get the pin. Like, I'm telling you, that is not a fighting technique. He uses a pro wrestling technique. But it works. And Bob Sapp gets on top, and he gets mount. He has Asunarashi mounted, like 2 minutes into the fight. And you're like, oh shit, Bob Sapp's gonna fucking kill him. Like, you're like, this is it. And he's landing punches and shit, but within like 30 seconds, it starts being like,
Just letting gravity do the punches, like
they're slowing
pulling
down.
his arm back up and just dropping it.
Basically.
It looks like I'm punching.
Now, so from there, like, so Bob Sapp wins round 1. Big. Now, I only showed you round 3.
Oh, it's so good.
So, round 2 is how we get from round 1, which is like, okay, that wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst. Round 2 is how you transition to round 3, which is probably the funniest 3 minutes of fighting. By the way, did you notice
glorious.
that? Did you notice 3-minute rounds? That it was kickboxing rounds, not MMA rounds, even though it was MMA rules? Which it was. There's obviously takedowns and shit in there. Just didn't see any of it. The third round is wonderful.
It's so beautifully idiotic and just like comically accurate.
So I want to say about 25 seconds into round 3, Asunarashi grabs the ring ropes in order to steady himself and just sort of rests there for a good
backing
5
away.
seconds.
He's like, oh, there's enough distance here between us where I can take a rest, so I'm definitely going to do that. Just the men slowly lumbering around, trying to pretend that they're in a fight still.
Man, the back fists, the half-hearted back fists that they would throw at each other.
Turning the back.
Yeah, this
running
backhanded
away.
slap as they were staggering in the direction of away.
It's easier to move my legs if I'm facing my whole body this way, so I'm just going to turn to you and walk away.
Just a comedic third round. I can't.
Oh my god.
I always feel like a little bit bad if I shit on a guy. I'm like, this guy sucks, or but I don't feel bad. This is funny. I'm telling you, if you can, besides Tenshin versus Horiguchi, if you could watch anything on this card, I might be like, watch Bob Sapp versus Sakurashi.
In terms of the contrast, though, to Tenshin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just this
lightning fast game of, like, death match that's happening.
You know, perfect technique, super high level, and you just go to these
rolling thunders and bloody drop down head kicks, and
you just got these two guys in there just like, oh, is this punching?
Well, we didn't talk about it after. That is one of those fights, right, where I wish, like, we had enough, like, computing power or whatever, where, like, I don't want anyone to die, but I would love it if there was an AI that could show me, like, okay, we're going to stop them after 3, okay? We're not letting them back out there. But here's a representation of what would have happened had we made them fight to the death. Because it's like, okay, Bob Sapp wins that fight by decision, right? But if you make that a fight to the death, how long does it go for? And who wins it?
Yeah.
Because they are both on the brink of having a heart attack at the end of that fight.
It's less than an hour.
Oh, yeah, it's less than 10 minutes, I think, because unless they both collapse...
Because that was 9 minutes with rest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if it goes for more than another 10 minutes, then they're both now on the floor, and, like, I imagine just one eye open looking at each other, like...
having a staring contest. Whoever goes to sleep first is going to get murdered, probably. Or whoever wakes up first.
That's it!
They just win.
Whoever wakes up first is going to win. So it was just great. Like I said, I don't know.
This was good, just to break it up.
Yeah, I've thought about that idea. You know how, like, sometimes you watch a fight that goes, like, Lawler Condit.
Yeah.
It's a good example, right? Like, I remember thinking after that fight, just for fun in my own head, like, boy, imagine if fights were 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck would have happened in that Lawler Condit fight if they had just been like, nah, man, this goes till someone falls down. Like, it's fun to think about when you're like, man, just what would have progressed. This might be the funnest time I've ever had thinking about what would have happened if there were more rounds. Like, it would have been great if you could make the ring smaller. You could just shrink the ring as rounds went on. And eventually they'd just be standing in front of each other.
See them in round 4, they're just like both backing up. Just trying to push against the cage.
Oh, it was great.
You stay over there or I'll punch you.
It was great.
But like, so like another point I want to make is that so it seems like every card is at least 12 fights now, no matter what you're watching. And like trying to watch that many fights in a day, like there's a point where you just miss a fight even though you watch it. You just burn out. And having a fight like this,
yeah, they blank past you. I know what you mean.
This is the perfect fight for that. Perfect.
Well, Rizin just know what they're doing, man. It's bang, right about in the middle of things. They know it's big, dumb fun.
Yeah,
look at those entrances.
It's way better than anything I can imagine that CM Punk could be in the UFC.
Of course. But that at the same time, in the UFC, that's what I'm like. At the same time, it's like if you send CM Punk over to Rizin,
they'll do something.
Yeah, they'll have some fun with that kid. Like, and he will too. The kid, he's a showman. You know he likes that shit. Did it for fucking 15 years. World champion at it. Like, I bet you he likes fucking performance. I bet you that's a part of it that he enjoys. But whatever. Man, the only other 2 fights I want to talk about. Bob Sapp wins by unanimous decision.
It's hilarious.
Breaking the losing streak.
It doesn't mean anything, but oh my god, it was fun.
It was a joy. It was a joy to watch. The only other 2 fights I really want to talk about, Mirko Cro Cop defeats Rocky Martinez. That's how you say it. Rocky. Yep. I learned that from the broadcast.
Good stoppage from the ref.
Beautiful stoppage, I suppose. It's funny because it's like in America it wouldn't be a stoppage.
Yeah,
you just carry on. But
for at least another 15 seconds.
Certainly. In Japan, though, this is the way they play it.
Yeah.
Cro Cop is probably losing the round. I believe it's 10-minute round. It says they're stopped 4:58 in round 1, but I'm pretty sure they were doing the pride rounds, so 10 and 5.
Yeah, 10 and 5.
Krokop, he's doing okay, but he seems to be having a bit of an issue. They get into a tie clinch in the corner. Krokop lands a gorgeous right elbow, splits him open right on the forehead. The ref doesn't even let another thing happen. He sees it immediately. He's just like, whoa, nope, stop.
That's it.
Well, he lets the doctor look at it, to be fair. They bring the doctor over. The doctor basically, like, clears it off, presses it, like, pretty hard, sort of takes it off, and it just starts pouring again. And the doctor's like, nah. And you're like, yeah, fair enough. Rocky Martinez was a little disappointed, but what are you going to do? Another mention to the walkouts for that. Krokop coming out to the classic Krokop walkout. Duran Duran Wild Boys. Just fucking great. He's got the Croatian shit up behind him, you know, the fucking screen's lit up. Just looks amazing. And the other one I wanted to talk about was Miyu Yamamoto defeating Andy Nguyen, or Nguyen, or however the hell you say it.
Yeah. That spelling has always confused me.
Yeah. They both win walkout of the night. Somehow, in a night of fantastic walkouts, by the way. It's not like there were like 0 contenders for this award. You know, Bob Sapp has a great one. Asunarashi has a great one. Tensions is good. Horiguchi's is good. Manel fucking Capes is pretty sweet. Like, Miyu comes out to Kid's theme, which breaks into her theme. You can tell she's very emotional about it. Looks great. It's just, you can really sort of feel the moment, and you're just like, this is great. I don't really like women's fighting, but I'm into this one just because I want this girl to win. Andy Nguyen comes out to Smooth Criminal, doing a goddamn dance number. Yeah. With just looking glorious. You're just like, look, fun. Isn't this fun?
It's a spectacle.
And, then she goes out there and gets trucked, which is what we all wanted to see because we're all rooting for Miyu Yamamoto. Whose, of course, brother passed away only a couple of weeks ago, the great Kid. And, yeah, it was alright. It was just kind of a wrestling clinic. Just took her down, smashed her up. Good for her, though. You could tell it meant a lot to her, obviously. The big emotional sort of outpouring after the fight. Miyu was the only person they let talk, which was, I thought, a solid move.
Yeah, nice.
I think Tension did as well after his fight, but obviously Miyu was the first person sort of from the undercard up who they let talk. I don't think Bob Sapp could have talked if they tried to interview him. But even Krokop just got out of the ring with that incident.
Can we take a moment to talk about the drunk commentating?
Oh, sorry, I forgot all about Peter Ertz.
Oh my god.
So, right before the main event, Frank Trigg and the guy commentating with Frank Trigg, sorry dude, I forget your name, they just grabbed Peter Ertz from the crowd, I'm assuming, who was just there.
Who's hammered.
He's sauced.
He's not sauced, he's hammered.
He's
going to be out of space. Man,
you can understand him, to be fair. There's 1 or 2 sentences that just blow by you, but most of it makes sense. The way I keep thinking of it is Peter Ertz shows up to that main event like your drunk uncle showing up for Christmas dinner. Right? Like, he hasn't been there all day, and then the door open, and then you're just sitting down, and all of a sudden, it's just like, hey, when I was driving the truck, I remember the guy tried to piss on my truck, and that didn't go very good for him. And then, he's nudging you at the table, with the elbow, like,
ask you behind the table. Yeah.
But it was great. Right, like, it didn't distract you from the fight as it was happening. You were still into the fight. You were still caught up in it. But Peter Ertz has given analysis, drunk analysis, that's pretty good. Like, it's not terrible analysis.
And now the fight starts.
Telling jokes. He's out there with callbacks.
Oh, he was having a good time.
He was having a great old time.
Big smile on his face. Like, this is great.
Yeah, definitely enjoying it too, and why wouldn't he? He's treated like a king in Japan. He's fought over there, been the champion of the K1 many times. Legend in kickboxing, Peter Ertz. So, yeah, it was everything about this card I loved. I really liked the commentary team. Like I said, I'm blanking on the guy who commentated with Trigg, but I like Trigg, man. I think he's a great commentator. I think he's really underrated. He's been doing it for a long time now, and he's good. He's really good.
There you have it.
Just outstanding, the Rizin show. I'm not going to give it like the Bellator out of because Rizin's its own thing. every Rizin show is just so separate from everything else.
Rizin
and always delivers.
It's
always.
like a dream. It's like
Yeah.
it's so removed enough from what we get on the daily that it doesn't seem real.
Yeah, like I said, always delivers. Rizin never lets me down.
And they're at number 13.
Yeah, and like I said, that's one. There's one really world-class fight on this card. It's like, how fun was it? So much fucking fun.
It's going to be more fun than UFC Moncton.
Oh, God. Still don't know where that is, in Canada or some shit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds like it's going to be near Saskatchewan. I could be wrong. But yeah, man, just what a ridiculously good weekend of MMA. I enjoyed every single part of it.
Oh well, I hope what we talk about next is some kind of cherry on the proverbial cake.
Man, look, it would be nice. We get this wonderful little run of good MMA before a little run of shit MMA.
And then a bit of a mix of everything. Yeah.
The dumbest main event ever. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit before we talk about what's coming up as well. Do you want to take a break? Get into the upcoming nonsense?
Yeah, then we'll talk about what everyone else is talking about.
Proper 12 whiskey.
Proper 12. So we're finally here. The much anticipated return of the notorious Conor McGregor. How do you feel about that?
Good. I feel good.
It's been too long, right?
It has been too long. I can't lie in terms of like I've been a big kind of hater in the absence of Conor, where I've just been like, just fucking strip him, I don't want to hear about it if he's not here, let's just focus on who is here. Now that he's back, I really feel like maybe some of that could have been construed as like I don't like Conor or something like that, because that's not it. I love the Conor McGregor show.
And it's so much better than what else is on offer, generally.
Exactly. It's like, what's the other show? And it's like, wow, that's the...
bland generic production of yesteryear.
Indeed. The UFC show. The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, season 27.
Yeah, whatever, right? Man, you might be right. I think it's 26. But even then, that doesn't count like all the foreign ones.
Oh, yeah. So you're telling me they're the 26 that mattered?
Well, I mean, even then, does it? Like, Whittaker won one of the not 26 ones. That one sort of matters, right? Considering Whittaker was on it. So it's hard to say. But, yeah, look, we're here. And I am happy about it, man. I don't know how you're feeling, but I like Conor. He's fun. He's loud. He brings excitement.
Well, historically, I dislike Conor, which is the funny thing, that I'm tipping him in this fight.
Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, we're not getting into the tips yet, but like, I just mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a Diaz guy. We all know this.
Yes, it is known.
But even then, like, as a fan of Nate Diaz, I'm so happy that Conor McGregor came along, because that's the reason why Nate Diaz has money now. Like, they weren't going to pay Nate Diaz what he deserved, but he forced their hand and he had a superstar play along. So, yeah, I'm stoked he's back. I think this whole week's been appropriately strange, with their 2 press conferences and Conor's calling more crazy shit out about Ali Abdelaziz and Khabib talking about Conor's grandfather being in the English Navy.
Yeah. Like, what is all this about?
It's just great.
It's like, did Conor finally get a reaction?
It seems like he has. Khabib leaving the press conference early, so they didn't even cross paths at the presser today. It's pretty interesting. Obviously, the weigh-ins tomorrow, we get to see him go face to face. But, man, it's been fascinating even in that regard, right? Like, watching Khabib, get closer and closer to this. I can't wait to see the actual thing happen. There's so much on the line for both guys. It's a good one. It's a real good one.
And who you got?
Man, I'm flip-flopping. I'm in a state of flip-flop.
It's hard, right? But it's silly because deep down that whoever wins is going to do it dominantly.
Man, look,
it's not going to be a close fight.
Here's the thing that switched me back. I think it could be close. Like, it could be a battle, but I doubt it. I think you're right. I think it's more likely to be one way or the other.
It's going to be a smushing or a crushing.
I am still leaning Conor, but like Chael, I watched an interview with Chael today or yesterday, and he made a good point, and it's sort of just been sticking in my head, where he was like, all this promotion's been going on, all this hype and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, man, Conor can do it, sort of thing. And then he's like, and then I just remembered, didn't I just go through this with Ngannou and Stipe? Didn't I just go through this with Woodley and Till? Well, there's a guy who can't wrestle, and he fights a guy who can wrestle. You know what the likely outcome's going to be? It's a guy who can't wrestle who's going to get his head kicked in. And I'm like, I hear you. But we're talking about, and this is the only thing that's where I sway on it, where I'm like, if Chael was talking about anyone else, I'd probably agree with him. But you can't argue at this point, McGregor is an anomaly.
Yeah, that's true.
He's just doing things that no one has done at his weight class, at any weight class really. And he's doing it incredibly. The only guy to shut him down is another anomaly.
At welterweight.
They were lightweights though. Nate's a lightweight. They just didn't cut. I don't think the weight affected anything. It's a tough one. I'm leaning Conor.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, and I've been wrong about every one of these fights of his, so...
I've never tipped him wrong on Tapology.
Yeah, so I'm going...
4 out of 4, son.
I'm glad I've never tipped him on Tapology. Be a bad record.
It's good. I got a good rep. It's all his early fights though, when I was on Tapology, early on.
Yeah.
So it's I picked him to spark Marcus Brennan and shit.
Easy money.
Yeah. Man, I know what I'm talking about. But I know I picked Eddie to beat him. I think I thought Aldo was going to beat him. I think I thought Mendes was going to beat him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to know with this guy, man.
Yeah, and if you look at their resumes, it's
oh, Conor's is superior.
It's kind of weird, and if Khabib loses, right, and he gets starched in round 1, does it make just his the 26?
It hurts him. It hurts him big time.
Bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, gone is this. This might be the best, fighter we've ever seen. Which if he wins, that's up there. If he wins, right, and goes to 27, then we start talking okay, if he beats, let's assume Ferguson wins, or even whoever, Pettis wins. If he beats that next guy, we're at 28-0, and then it's okay, well, how long before we start giving this guy some, greatest of all time mention?
Yeah.
Because he's not losing, and he's in the hardest division. And that's what I mean. When I say, Conor's resume is better, it is better, but that doesn't mean Khabib doesn't have very good wins. He's got Michael Johnson, he's got Rafael dos Anjos, he's got Edson Barboza, he's got Ally Quinta, Gleison Tibau back in the day. That one's a little closer than you might think.
Yeah, indeed.
Gleison's on them steroids, though. It's pretty USADA.
Cough, cough.
He's got good wins. But it doesn't quite stack up with Mendes, Aldo, Alvarez, Diaz, Poirier, Holloway. Just, name after name on McGregor's resume.
You can't say at this stage that Conor hasn't proven himself. If you want to make an argument that he hasn't fought in 2 years.
Well, here's the argument I could make against Conor. He fought one wrestler in all that. I guess you could say Eddie, but Eddie didn't wrestle him.
Yeah.
And that one wrestler took him down at will.
4 times.
Yeah. Dennis Seaver took him down. Now, obviously, he's training with better people. This is
Well, he's gotten better, Conor.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to bet, significantly. Conor is not a person who improves the way you and I improve. Oh, yeah, man, my takedown defense is 2% better now. No, Conor's going to be much different. But you're also talking about, Khabib might be Olympic level with what he can do.
Just gets one arm behind you and that's it.
It's interesting. I'm very excited for it. I still, I've thought about how it could go so many times. I'm still psyched to see it.
Man, we get to find out soon.
Indeed, we're finally here, the return.
Man, and before that, it's like another fight that I'm maybe more excited for this fight. Just because with the long layoff thing, the whole Conor thing feels a bit like an old shirt, an old shoe.
Okay.
Like
Can you elaborate?
It's unfamiliar. You haven't had it for a long time, and then you get it back or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's. Whereas in my mind, like even though Tony got hurt, you know, like he was going to be fighting soon, and then like you're watching Pettis fight.
I was hoping you'd manage to like keep the shirt theme going, because you'd be like, whereas this is like my favourite shirt that is Technicolor and has keyboard cat on the front of it,
Yeah.
and on the back it says, you know, next question. Like, just because Tony Ferguson certainly brings the fun. He is unquestionably, in my mind, the weirdest dude in mainstream MMA.
Yeah, do you think he's like
Crazy Horse still holding the title, of course.
intentionally trying to be weird, or that's just him?
I think he's definitely turning it up to 11. But, yeah, I think he's just... Like, I think if you were like, hey, Tony, put a fucking cap on it, like, just give normal answers, he could probably do that, or at least a version of it. But this, I feel like, is him just being like, I'm just going to say whatever the fuck comes into my head. Because you can't plan that. You can't plan, I'm not a rat, I'm a turtle, a ninja turtle. My favourite's Michelangelo. Which one's yours? Next question.
Hey, you want to know how hard a diamond is? You take a dinosaur shit and put it under pressure, and then you say you can't make dinosaur turds in a diamond. What the fuck are you talking about, mate?
And yet you're like, yeah, he had a hard background, that's what he's saying. And like, so bad, like you could just call him a piece of shit. But it's like, man, I've been under so much pressure, man. I've been putting myself under pressure to make myself a diamond, and now I'm like real good. Like, yeah, man, I get it. I feel like you probably could have said that in a way that makes more sense.
Well, like, why does it have to be dinosaur shit?
Because it's old, I think. I think that might have been...
Too many things there for my brain to try and analyse.
But yeah, you were trying to explain his rocks in the forest line to me, and you were like, it makes sense, and you got to like 3/4 of the way through your explanation, and I could see your brain was like, oh, Nick's got too many questions. Like... It was, yeah, just go watch any bit of Tony Ferguson footage this week if you're so inclined to get utterly confused yet entertained at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't mind it.
It's fun. He's fun.
Yeah.
He is fighting Anthony Showtime Pettis, former UFC, WEC, and lightweight champion of the world. Former next big thing.
Yeah, former next big thing who's...
The Pettis era.
I wouldn't say he's been on a bit of a run, like he's sort of...
No, he's only had one. He's only had one fight that he's won, which was the Mark Chiesa fight.
Well, that's the only fight where I thought, oh, he's back.
Yeah, well, because the fight previous to that, I believe, was Poirier, which was a good fight. That was a good contest. Poirier just jacked him, though.
So, yeah, man, it's been a really interesting matchup because, you know, it's going to be fun. And it can go anywhere.
Pettis talking about targeting the knee. It's going to be interesting to see how that holds up. It's going to be interesting to see what Tony looks like.
Well, Tony reckons he was good to go too, like 2 months after.
Yeah, Tony's a fucking nutcase.
Yeah, but, you know, he seems to know himself, I guess.
Look, maybe better than you and I know him.
He doesn't have any illusions. Well, maybe he has many. And then maybe he's tricked us all. Or just me.
Man,
I want to believe in this guy.
Look, he's won 10 in a row, so you have every reason to believe in him. He's got the longest win streak in the UFC's lightweight division ever. So he's going to go out there and put that on the line, presumably, one of those is usually
Either or.
Somethingably, if he wins, he is the number one contender. Although if Conor wins, anything could happen. But, I mean, if Pettis stops him, that pretty much skyrockets him right into contention. So.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like... Does the winner of the co-main get to fight the winner of the main event?
If Khabib wins, yes. If Conor wins, no.
Who knows?
Well, if Conor wins, it could be anyone. It could be Nate, could be Dustin, could be Tony, could be Floyd, could be Tyron, could be GSP, could be Anderson Silva. Bit of that noise this week. And like that, like I'm at the point now too where I'm like, none of those are ridiculous.
Man, could be Max Holloway.
Yep. Depending on how this ends, if it's weird, could it be Khabib again? Like it's the Conor show. Who knows what you're gonna get? But yeah, man, it's a good fight. Who are you picking for this one? I've got a dirty feeling that Anthony Pettis might win this fight.
Man, in terms of betting, like definitely Pettis or nothing.
Sure. Well, it's the same as McGregor Khabib. I threw a loose few bucks on McGregor by round 1 and round 2 stoppage. Because that's where the money is. Paying like 5 and 7.
Well, it seems like the likely method of victory.
For him.
Yeah.
Whereas like Khabib by like decision is paying okay. And I'm like, dude. I ain't, like, it could go 25, but I ain't betting on it. Not with a mauler like Khabib and a kill shot artist like Conor.
Yeah.
So,
it's not. 25 minutes is too long. Like 15 minutes, sure.
he could go 25. Khabib could beat him up for 25.
Just both gas out.
Yeah.
Start Bob sapping it.
Khabib grabbing the cage. Just you stay over there for a minute. Conor with his hands on his knees, like, yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I just can't see it. Like I still remember when, like Conor got up from Chad Mendes, and there was like 15 seconds on the clock or whatever.
Oh yeah, he just gave him that little nod of like, you're fucked now.
Yeah. It's too much time for you. Just poured it on him, fucking put him away. He's like, holy shit! Like not many guys can do that.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pick Tony Ferguson to win. He's in that space where he's one of those guys where like he's earned it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Till he loses or till he's fighting one of those mythical creatures at the top of the division.
Oh no, my worry is that like Pettis is just going to catch him with something like a big knee up the middle or something, just rock his world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we know Tony's tough. You know, he might just get put away before that can even be a factor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm really.
I didn't hear a pick in there.
Man, I'm gonna pick Pettis.
Go on the upset.
I am going the upset. I think he showed a little something in his last fight, and I think there's a big enough question mark on Tony where it's like this is Pettis' time. If he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it now. So I'm gonna go with Pettis.
Interesting. I'll hold you to that one. See where that lands next week. Man, you want to skim through the other stuff that is moderately important or interesting?
Yeah, man, there's only, a couple more fights to talk about.
Black Beast making a comeback against Vargo.
Man,
Alexander Volkov.
The underrated Black Beast. Perennially underrated.
Yeah. Out there with his back injury, trying his best.
Now, I do think in most cases, given the 15 minutes of a fight, Black Beast will find a way to touch you. But I think...
Have you heard his interviews for this one?
No.
He's saying, I believe the quote is like, "You better hope this doesn't go to decision, because I'm coming out and I'm emptying the gas tank in round 1. So if this gets to round 2, I'm not going to have anything left."
Man, I like it. That's probably his best path to victory. I think Volkov's just going to be too cagey on the outside.
Got that sneaky little uppercut that he's put out the last 2 guys with, put the Doom out with it.
Man, he's got the range, but he also uses it.
I still think he's there to be touched though, Volkov.
Yeah, well, it's only going to take one from Black Beast. If you can just do it just once, that's it. That's all it'll take.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly like if he can like stagger you, he'll put you away. Well, like I don't think he's got like the Ngannou touch, which is like, don't don't let that happen. Like, why? Like, man, that's it. You can't who touches you, that's it. Yeah, man, Derek, he's got good finishing instincts. He's kind of got his top game reminds me a little of Soa Palele.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just like, oh no. Like,
someone better get in there.
Yeah, someone stop. If he gets mount, just end it. Just immediately stop the fight. There's no reason to let this happen. So yeah, I'm leaning Black Beast. I know that's maybe an upset pick. Most people are going with Drago.
Man, I'm going to go with Drago. I think he's got enough sort of mental aptitude to be able to keep the fight where he needs to win and not make a mistake for 15 minutes.
I think you're overrating the skills of heavyweights. I think charge forward and kill is the right strategy. But no, man, maybe I'm just a Black Beast fan. But yeah, I think he's going to get it done. He's talked about his back feeling a little bit better. I think maybe the last couple of fights haven't reflected how good he is. Maybe he can catch Drago with some of that heat early.
I wouldn't like to be his back.
No. Apparently, like, one of his legs is shorter than the other. It's like one of his muscles is like folded up, and it like affects his back. But there's like no way to undo it. It's just like sounds fucking awful. But
probably more common than you think.
Probably. But again, most people aren't out there trying to fucking take off a motherfucker's head for a living.
That's right.
When you're his size too, and picturing the size of that muscle, like the strain on that, or the weight of his back, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, it just seems like if you were little, it wouldn't be as bad. Versus Derek Lewis is anything but little.
He's a big boy.
But man, I'm going to pick him to get it done.
You're crazy.
Don't tell anybody. Man, OSP Dominic Reyes. I'll go with Dominic Reyes. Why not?
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think he's got too much of a ability to knock him out. Like Pedro showed that Owens can be hurt on the feet. And I think Reyes is just like...
He looks a little more...
scarier.
Not even scarier, I think. Like just a little more polished than Tyson. It's still like Tyson's still... Like when he heard OSP, Tyson was just like, yeah, this is mine. And you were like, like 3 or 4 more pro fights in your Tyson, I feel like you just would have been like, stay calm, he's almost gone, just wait for the shot. Whereas he just kind of rushed in a bit and sort of ended up, losing the advantage. I think Dominic will have, he seems a little cooler. Like, so he seems to, he can land and he'll sort of back out and see what you do with it.
Well, I don't think he's going to like try and transition into grappling if he gets him hurt.
No, yeah. I think he'll just kind of either get him to stand or just try and unload punches on him.
Yeah.
So,
and just put him out.
They
won't make that mistake. But OSP's won better fights than this.
True. He's a left head kick away from changing your day for the worse at any point.
And he's a bit up down. And my fear with him is that he's overrated from his Jones fight. I'm like the only people who overrate him from the Jones fight, like haven't seen him fight. Yeah.
Because that was just not a good performance by John Jones. Like it wasn't a terrible performance by OSP. It was a decent performance by OSP. One of his better ones probably. But like when you watch him fight normally, you're like, oh yeah, he's got an alright left hand. He's got a pretty decent power left kick. That's about it. He doesn't have a ton of defensive responsibility. Doesn't, his top game's okay, but it's nothing to write home about. His defensive bottom game is nothing to write home about. His takedown defense is, everything else is about a 6 to 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the creator fighter from the video game.
Yeah. Build your own fighter.
Yeah. But he's got a solid left head kick and a good left straight. But yeah, and southpaws are tricky. Obviously you obviously see a ton more orthodox guys, so southpaws always throw you off a little bit. But
yeah.
I haven't seen a ton of Reyes. I'm just kind of going off the one fight I have seen. A lot of people seem to think he could be a thing. So.
Well, he hasn't lost yet professionally. So.
9-0 or something. So
yeah.
So like he's been in there for a long time.
He's got like 1 decision, maybe 2 in there. He's just been wrecking everyone.
Good for him.
But man, it should be good in terms of light heavyweight anyway. Heavyweight good.
It shouldn't be a dumpster fire. I'll put it that way. which I guess in light heavyweight terms means good.
And then, and if Dominic wins, then it's sort of a new name to talk about in terms of.
Well, if he wins, then he's up into contention.
Yeah, that's right.
Then it's time for top 10 guys. Like, this might be a top 10 guy he's fighting. Owens could be 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I think he is.
I believe it. So, yeah, if he can win this one, he's maybe 1 or 2 away from getting a shot at the gold, such as the light heavyweight division's depth.
He'd just be like a late-minute replacement for like a Jones-Gustafsson rematch.
Gustafsson versus Reyes. Yeah.
For the interim vacant interim title.
Gustafsson just fucking crunches him. Just like, who's this guy? They're like, oh, he beat Open St. Preux. You see Gustafsson looking at you like, you serious? That's his best win? You send this guy in here with me? Were you trying to kill him?
Yeah, take the paycheck.
Big. And then, the only other fight I think was Jussier Formiga versus...
Baby Pettis.
Yeah, Baby Pettis. The Phenom. Sergio.
Man, he's been doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, he's been looking like he's on the improve. It's interesting he's fighting on the same card as Anthony again. They said they weren't going to do it. After, this is, I think, the 5th time. They have a record of both won a chop, both won, both lost, and 2 chops. And I think it's a flip of the chops too. So I'm pretty sure they've had literally every outcome possible. They've decided, sort of, they got asked about it, I think, and Anthony sort of said, look, wasn't really my decision. Like, when we first decided, it was kind of like maybe he was a bit more worried about things. And Sergio was just kind of like, oh man, like I was 20 years old when that shit was happening. I'm 25 now.
Yeah.
I'm the man in this division. Like, I don't give a fuck what card. Like, my brother's here too, that's cool. Doesn't really matter though. Yeah, that's the right answer, kid. So, saying the right things, he's looking good. I might be undercutting Jussier Formiga here. And it's not like he's not a guy I don't know. I've been watching Jussier for a while.
I mean, he's been around for a while.
I think he's going to get crushed. I think Sergio Pettis is going to beat him quite easily. I think stylistically it's a bad matchup for Jussier. I think he's old for a flyweight. He's 32, 33 now, I think. You're old at that weight class now. Wilson Hayes is like 35. How quickly did Wilson look old? Like, he was fighting for the belt, and then the next thing you know, you were just like, Jesus Christ, stop putting Wilson Hayes in fights with people, man. He's getting the crap beaten out of him.
Man, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think Jussier is still...
I'm alone in it, man. I don't think most people are picking this to be like a really tightly contested fight. Like, Jussier can win this and shit. Where maybe I'm wrong. But I think Sergio is going to truck him.
Yeah, what was Jussier's most recent victory? Is it Ben 10?
Could have been.
So when you get the round 3 sub.
Give me a moment and I will give you some information.
Then his jiu-jitsu is of a level, but...
I don't disagree with you. I'm in agreement with you. But I think Sergio is...
You think he's got good enough submission defense?
I think this is like Charles Oliveira versus Big Brother Pettis. Like, Charles Oliveira's got a real nasty submission game. And it was like, yeah, that Anthony Pettis submitted him. What? He fucked him up. Oh, did you see that? Charles Oliveira, because he won by submission. He fought a week or two ago.
Yeah.
He broke the submission record.
Yeah.
He has more submissions than Hoist Gracie. He comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm a UFC legend now. And you're like, oh, Charles. Easy now, buddy. Yeah, 10, Ben 10.
And Ulka Sasaki.
Oh, you're high on Ulka Sasaki, aren't you?
That's my boy.
Lost the decision to Ray Borg, lost the split decision to Henry Cejudo, although that was 3 years ago. And Henry's obviously quite improved since then. Jess Benavidez flatlined him. Johnny Dodson flatlined him. Fast, powerful strikers. He's only gotten older since then. And Sergio Pettis is coming into his prime. I really do. I think he's going to hammer him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
11 gig my Rizin video is.
Wonder what the odds are on that one.
Baby Pettis is a big favourite.
Man, I'm not going to be surprised if Jussier gets his back or gets a leg or traps an arm.
I'll bet on it, mate. You're paying alright. Where's Baby Pettis? 164. Ah, that's close. Closer. I think it should be more than that.
Man, Jussier's been around, man. He's fought.
That is why I think he's going to
guys.
get hurt. I know all this, man. I've seen those fights, but $6 by submission, kid. I think that is the bet there. Sergio Pettis by KO TKO was paying $10. That is a good bet. I like that.
The more you talk about it, the more I like it.
But that's just, like I said, it's just my opinion. I have not seen a lot of support for that opinion. A lot of people are on your side of things. This is a close fight. Jussier Formiga is a tough opponent for anybody.
Yeah, he's not to be disrespected.
I would certainly hope that's not what I'm doing. I think his time is up. And I think this kid's time is pretty much right now.
New blood.
Yeah, this kid's been a thing for a while. He's been threatening to be a thing. And to be fair, he has improved. He keeps looking like he's getting better. And I think this could be a big step for him.
So you're picking that only one Pettis is going to win, and I'm picking that only one Pettis is going to win.
We're picking different Pettis.
Alright. It's good.
You're picking Jussier.
Man, I'm going to take him. It's underrated. Sergio's shown real good improvements, and he's a fairly complete fighter. But if there's holes, I am worried that if Jussier can't submit him, then he'll lose the decision. Which is why Sergio Pettis by points is paying $2. So,
I think you can stop him. I really do. I think we're all underrating Sergio's game. And I think this, like I said, I think this is an opponent, I don't want to say tailor-made, but pretty close. I think this is a bad fight for Jussier Formiga. Just style versus style. I think it's bad for him.
Man, you might be right. And it might be both Pettis lose.
Maybe.
Or win.
Or one wins and one loses.
All four things.
We get back here next week and it's just like, so, 2 fucking draws. We would have just seen that shit coming.
Yeah, or a draw and a no contest.
Double knockout. But yeah, I think that's about it for the 29 card. Did we end up talking about Sergio Pettis, Jussier Formiga more than Conor Vs?
Yeah, probably. But I'm interested in that fight, man.
I'm not disinterested in it. It's funny.
I mean, well, it matters to the division in the sense that whoever wins this is...
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, they're right there. And you've got the newly crowned champ.
Soon to be TJ Dillashaw.
Coming
down for that belt.
So, man, if Sergio can get in now, then, yeah, he's laughing all the way.
Well, you got to remember, even in the world of Demetrius Johnson, like in the world of Demetrius Johnson, this is a guaranteed title shot for the winner because neither of them have fought him. Because they've both just fallen short every time. So, I'm pretty sure Sergio, if he's looking at a title shot, he's almost pissed that Henry Cejudo got it. He said he thought it was a draw. I saw there was an interview with him this week. He said he thought it was level.
Of course he did.
Yeah, it's not a terrible answer. But it's also been, like, under those rules, he's like, well, DJ should have retained the title.
Yeah.
There's also the undertone there.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
argument.
think Henry Cejudo should be the world champion right now. Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think you win a belt off that, of what we saw.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Man, you got anything else?
No, man, that's it.
You want to end on a long, drawn-out discussion about Sergio Pettis and Jussier Formiga?
Yeah, let's do that. Alright, that was been good. We'll get the results in a few days.
Yeah, man, stay tuned.
Until then.
Yeah.